Enda, first of all, what is the actual significance of these remarks?
Well, good morning, Francine. Look, I think it does represent a ratcheting up of the rhetoric between both sides. It shows that China certainly isn't going to take this lying down, and in some respects that's consistent with what they've been saying ever since Mr. Trump's election. They warned back in January that they had a big stick to shake if the US came after them on the trade front, and now they're making clear that with the IP investigation underway that China can and will respond. But as you say, though, it is important to note at the same time, he said they both have mutually beneficial areas of interest too, and it's interesting that China continues to wave that olive branch at the US, perhaps signalling there that down the line they could make some concessions towards inbound US investment. But for now, you'd have to say certainly an area of confrontation over this IP investigation.
Enda, do you think that, first of all, how could China retaliate against the US, but are we there yet?
It's still kind of relatively early days, but there are certainly a number of channels China could respond against the US. I mean, for example, there are significant, obviously, US companies operating in China, and there are significant US companies winning big orders out of China. One of the favorite ones people often raise is the aviation sector. Boeing has big orders in there. Apple has big operations in China and big sales in China. So if it got to the point where China really wanted to retaliate, they could certainly hit both American investment and American companies operating in China, and they could certainly hit Chinese imports of US goods. Soybeans is one classic example. So I think China has plenty of angles or options available to respond if they want to. But that would be really at a point where we're heading down the road of a trade war and we have significantly heightened tensions. I don't think we are there yet. We're at very early stages in what could likely be a very protracted process with this IP investigation.